All right, Lloyd's up, and then I think we'll probably have to wrap it up. He says, really enjoy the Hangouts. In regards to drive stacks, should a Switchbox domain be used or should the money site be used? Reason being, to stay under the radar with Google and competitors is to not leave any footprints. I'm in a pretty competitive niche, i.e. legal, and don't want the competition to know which strategy I'm using to rank. Yeah, you always can use a Switchbox domain. For people that don't know what he's talking about, it's just having a redirect domain that is a domain redirected to your money site. And that way, if something were to happen where something were to be considered spammy or start producing negative effect, you can just undo the redirect, right? You can eliminate the redirect, and it's like turning a switch off, right? You know, that's something that you certainly can do. I haven't worried about that with drive stacks at all. Honestly, you can do that though. The only thing the problem that I see with Switchbox domains for, especially if you're trying for local stuff, is you're creating citations on Google properties with the drive stacks and with the syndication networks or whatever else it is that you're doing. And if you use a redirect domain, then you're kind of ambiguating that NAP data, right? And that can create an issue with your maps ranking. That's part of the reason why I just go with the money site, because that way I can put the full NAP in, the drive stacks and all the different files and all that kind of stuff. And it's consistency across the board. The problem, again, with using a redirect domain is it ambiguates that NAP data. So it's up to you. It can work. If you were going to do it, I might suggest using a subdomain redirect from the actual domain, as opposed to, at least that would be less ambiguation, although it still is an ambiguation factor. Marco, I know you can comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's getting more complicated than it needs to be, because it's already on its own Switchbox, because you control the Gmail account that the drive stack and G site are delivered in. And so since you have that, if you do everything through the drive stack and G site, the money site will benefit. Now, if for whatever reason the client stops paying or whatever, then what you could do is just turn it off, right? You turn off the drive, you make the drive stack private, yeah. and you eliminate the G site, and that's a Switchbox. Now, if you don't want the competition to know what you're doing, I mean, you could try you could try it to a subdomain, but it still has to be on the client side to get the full effect. I don't like adding an additional jump anymore, because it cuts down a little bit on the power. But other than that, stay under the radar with Google. We don't give a shit about Google. And competitors, leaving footprints, you're always going to leave footprints. If your competitor is determined to find what you're doing, they're going to find it. Rob reverse engineered RYS Academy. I mean, the entire thing from the drive stack and the G site and everything else that we were doing it, and then contacted me about the wicked things that he was doing with it. That's how Rob, who runs MGYB now, that's how he ended up with Semantic Mastery in the first place, reverse engineering everything. Someone determined is going to do it no matter how you try to hide it.